Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn lesson number 4, Economics, Standard 12, and the chapter's name is Supply Analysis. Now we are going ahead. We'll start the chapter Supply Analysis. Now we come to the topic. The main title of the chapter says Supply Analysis. Now what does it mean? What is the meaning of supply? Okay, supply, in a simple word, we can say that to give forward, to give things and give forward means one person to another person, one place to another place. It has to be reached. The thing, the material, whatever is that it's to supplies, to forward, is to give. That means a supply, we can supply those things to one place to another place. Now here the introduction is given. So the introduction says the study of supply is as important as the study of demand. Supply is a fundamental economic concept that describes the total amount of a specific good and service that available to seller. Now here they says key supply is an important study as demand. Means if there is a demand, then only we have to supply the things. Means for the supply, demand is important. If people or customers are demanding something, then only the seller can fulfill their need. They can they can provide those things. So demand is an important more than supply. So the total amount of goods or service available for sale at my specific place price is known as supplies. Here the definition is given in so short that the total amount of goods whichever the seller has in his shop or in his godown or services available for sale at specific price is known as supplies. Okay, now here concept of total output, stock and supply total output. Now what does it says? Output is produced in the process of production. Total output can be defined as the sum total of quantity of the commodity produced at a given period of the time in the economy. Production leads to consumption. In the process of production, inputs are converted into output or final goods. Now here input and output of goods is given. The production leads to consumption. In the process of production, inputs convert to the output or final goods. The production which company is doing is more important. Means how much the total demand, how much the production we need, that is an important part. The stock should be available in the company. From that only they are going to produce the material. So that is the important to be give a total production amount, and the process of production should be clear because of the stock. Now here the meaning of stock is given. Stock is a total quantity of commodity available in the sale with the seller at the particular point of time. Means whichever the material the company is having, the seller is having in his shop, whatever the total amount of things and material whichever he has in his site. By increasing production, stock can be increased. Without stock, supply is not possible. So as I said on before, without demand supply cannot be done. So increasing production stock can be increasing production stock can be increased, but without stock supply is impossible. Normally stock exceed supply in its fixed and fixed and elastic. In the case of perishable goods such as milk, fish, etc., stock may equal to supply. On the other hand, for durable goods which has furn- furniture, garments, etc., stock can exceed the supply. Means some of stock like milk, then other things like fish, it should be it's a daily need. It's a daily need of human being. So it can be, I mean, it has to be improved. It has to be uh, more production. Company have to do more production of this kind of production. But some kind of production like furniture, like electronics items, right? So that kind of production is to be limited, because those people are not buying everything, these all things like furniture, fridge, TV, the people are not buying every day. Okay, so which production have to be increased and which production have to be limited often time. So that is the important for every company or every production area. Now here supply is given. Supply is relative term. It's always expressed in relation to price, time and quantity. And supply, as I said, supply is important. It's not important than demand. Okay, so demand should be there. If people are demanding, then we can set a price and we can supply those material. It's a means it has a relation with price. I mean supply has a relation with price, time and quantity. Mean how much quantity of production we has, mean how much the stock we have, and what time, means the the demand, means we can say the mangoes demand in the summer season only, and the ice creams demand in the summer season, but we cannot eat ice cream in the winter season. So that is a thing which we have to set a price by its time. Now meaning of supply here is given. The word supplies implies to a various quantities of commodity offered for sale by production producers during a given period of time at a given price. It's a related to time and price. Supply is a flow concept. It's referred to the amount of commodity the the frames product and offer to sell in the market over a period of time, says a day, a week, a month, or a year. Okay, here the meaning of supply is given. The word supply implies to the various quantity and commodity, means the supplier, the company, he has to he's what kind of material he has, and in how much quantity he has, that is important. Okay, so during the given period, at a time, a given price is related to time and price. As I said, supply needs a demand, and it is having relation with price also. Now here definition of supply is given. According to Paul Samuelson, supply refers to a relation between market price and amount of goods and producers are willing to supply. Means here it is given key, means in the market it is like if market is demanding for something, we can say some market is demanding for uh, furniture. Okay, market is demanding for furniture, So the company the company have to set the price of the furniture, and they have to pay, means they have to pay the workers also to make furnitures, and the total amount of the production, it should be a suitable for the market price. That then only they can supply the material. If people are demanding, and the producer, means those who are producing the material, they are not means they are not able to produce the material, then they cannot supply the material to the market. Supply refers to a quantity of a commodity that sellers is willing to able to offer for a sale at a given price during a certain period of time. For example, a farmer's total output of rice is 4000 kgs. This is the total stock. If the price is rupees 40 per kg, he offers 1000 kg for sale. That's he actual apply, means here the example is giving of farmer, means he has his total amount yearly annual production is 4000 kg, and he is having his total stock of 1 year. Then he is setting the price of per kg is 40 rupees. Then he offers, means he is selling only 1000 kg for sale. That is his actual supply, means he is supplying 1000 kg as of 40 rupees per kg charges to the market. Supply schedule is a tabular representation of a functional relationship between price and quantity supply of a particular commodity. Here first is given individual supply schedule. Now what is individual supply schedule? Individual supply schedule refers to a tabular representation showing various quantities of a commodity that a producer is willing to sell at various pricing during a given period of a time. Means here one table is given, individual supply schedule, price of a commodity, supply of commodity, means two areas are given. Here the setting of price means per kgs, means like before the example was given 1 kg 40 rupees. Here per kg the prices are given, and selling how much the material they are sending to sell, means 10 rupees for 100 kgs, 20 for 200 kgs. Per kg is 10 rupees and selling material is 100 kgs. Like that, this is the chart is given. Table number 4.1 explain the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied of a commodity. Lower the price, lower the quantity of a commodity supplied, and vice versa. At a lowest price of 10 rupees, supply also lowest at 100 kgs. At a highest price of 50, quantity supply at the highest at 500 kgs. Now second is given individual supply curve. Now what is individual supply curve? It is a graphical presentation of individual supply schedule. Okay, now here the graph is given. Okay, so in figure 4.2, quantity supply is shown at the x-axis and price of the price on the y-axis. Now two rows are given, x and y. In the graph we have to make this, and SS slopes upwards from left to right, indicating the direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Means it's saying SS is curve is going higher, means the production is going up and the price is also going up. Like in the 4.1 chart we have seen that 50 rupees having a 500 ka supply. Okay, so like that only the production is going up and the price is also increasing. Now second is market supply schedule. Schedule refers to tabular representation showing different quantities of commodity which all producers are prepared to sell at different prices at a given period of time. Now table number 4.2, market supply schedule. Then here it's saying price of commodity rupees, quantity supplied in kgs, and market supplies in kgs. Now we have seen that in the those farmers, we have seen in the news also that farmers are selling to the seller on a different price, and sellers are selling us the material in a high prices. This different we can see in this chart. See, price of commodity is 10 rupees. Okay, the actual price is 10 rupees, but the seller is one number. A seller is selling in 100, B seller is selling 200, and seller C is selling in 300, but the market supply is 600, means is increasing. In the table 4.2, market supplies is obedient by adding the supply of sellers A, B, C at different prices. At highest prices of 50 rupees, market supplies is a main part. At the highest at 1800 kgs at the lowest price of the rupees 10, market supply is the lowest at 6 kgs. Now next is given market supplies curve. It is a graphical presentation of a market supply schedule. Market supplies curve here is in this graph also. There are two rows are given, y and x. In figure 4.3, quantity supply is shown on the x-axis and the price on the y-axis. Supply curve S slopes upward from left to right, indicating a direct relationship between price and market supply. Again in this chart also, price and market supply is going upward. Now here determinants of supply is given. There are total 8 points. It can be asked in a exam also. First is price of commodity. Price is an important factor influencing in the supply of a commodity. More quantities are supplied at a higher price, and less quantity are supplied at a lower price. As we have seen that price is an important factor. In the graph also we have seen more quantities are supplied at a higher price, and less quantities are supplied at a lower price. Thus the graph is going upside, means SS line is going up, means they are selling more and they are rating more the production. Thus there is a direct relationship between price and quantity supplied. Now second is state of technology. Technological improvements reduce the cost of production, which lead and increase production and supply. Means in the company the materials, mean the machinery is costing the price, means they will increase the price of product also. This is the impact of technology on the production. Third is cost of production. If the factor price increases the cost of production also increase, the result of supply decreases. Infrastructural facility. Now fourth point is infrastructural facility. Infrastructure in the form of transport, communication, power, etc. influence the production process as well as supply. Shortage of these facilities decreases the supply and vice versa. Means the infrastructure also helps to supply and the it is also having a relation with supply and price. The form of the transport means which one place to another place, how the material is going to one place to other place, that is also taking a charges, means a truck or a aeroplane or a train, they are also charging for the sending one product one place to other place. That is also that is also impacting the product. Now fifth is government policy. Favorable government policies may encourage supply, may discourage the supply. The government policies like taxation, subsidies, industrial policies, etc., may encourage or discourage production and supplies, depending upon government policy measures. Now, here we have seen that there are a few point of tax in each and every in production. We have to pay the few kind of point to government also. Okay, like VAT, we are paying VAT for this thing on every production. Okay, this kind of policy government has passed on the production on the product, then we have to pay that, and for that also the government policy is also impacting the price over the product. Now natural conditions, very important point. Natural condition, the supply of agricultural products depends on the natural condition. Now agricultural products like rice, wheat, other grains, like they are depending of natural condition. Like we have seen that right now only in the Mumbai we have seen few villages having a more, means the rain is more than every year. So because of that the whole the kheti is destroy, means they have means the production is not that much good which they are taking every year. So this is the natural condition, and in the few villages we have seen there is no rain only. So because of that is also impacting the production, means the agriculture production. It is a very important part. Favorable climatic condition will be produce a good harvest. So the supply of agriculture production will be increased in unfavorable climatic condition will lead to decrease in the supplies. Now we have seen the right now is the going the supply of onion. Okay, the supply of onion from to other countries has been stopped by government because there is no production of onions because of the rain and the climatic condition. So now they are not sending onion to other countries, they are keeping in the India only, and because of that the farmer is he is in loss because his material is not going to other country, and because of the price which he was getting from the other country, that is he is not getting, so he is in his loss. Future expectation about price. If the price are expected to raise in the near future, the producer may without the stock. This will reduce the supply and vice versa. Future expectation means we have seen that the gold price, nowadays the gold price is increasing more and more. So the producer may without the stock which reduce the supplies and vice versa. Eighth is other factors. It includes nature of a market, relative price of other goods, export and import, industrial relation, availability of factors of production, etc. If all factors are favorable, supply for a commodity will be more and vice versa. Now law of supply is given. First is introduction is given. The law of supply is also fundamental principle of economic. theory like law of demand. It was introduced by Professor Alfred Marshall in his book Principle of Economics, which has published in 1819. The law explained the functional relationship between price and quantity supplied. As we discussed before only, we having in the law explain the functional relationship between price and quantity of supply. We discussed already, that is, if demand is not there, the supplies can be impossible. Means we need demand to supply the material. Now, statement of a law. Now a few statements are given. Other things being constant higher the price of commodity, more is the quantity supplies, the lower the price of commodity, less the quantity supplied. In simple word, other factors remaining constant is the rise in a price result. In a rise in the thing quantity supplied, vice versa, thus there is a direct relationship between price and quantity. Symbolically, these symbols are given, means Sx is equal to Fpx. As for S says supplies, X says commodity, F says function, and P says price of commodity. Now, assumptions of the law. The law of supply is based on the following assumptions. Now, what are the assumptions we can see here? Constant is assumed that there is no changes in the cost of production. A change in a cost of production will affect its profits of the seller. Therefore, less quantity will be supplied in the same price. Second is constant technique of production. It is also assumed that the technique of production does not changes. Improved techniques of production may lead to an increase in the production. This in the turn may lead an increase the supply the same price. Means we have seen that the companies are changes. They are buying new machineries to increase the production, but there are few things that is they are still using their old techniques. Like we can see khadi production is using their old technology only to wave the khadi cloth. Means they are still using the charkha which is Gandhiji used to use. They are using the same technology, and few companies are increasing their products. They are buying machineries. There are two different things we can see in this point. Now, no change in the weather condition. No changes in the weather condition. It is assumed that there is no changes in the weather condition. Natural climates like foods, earthquakes, etc. may decrease supply. Means floods. Sometime we have seen the Kerala, the flood had come, the earthquake has come in China. So that is natural climates. Because of that is also supply impacts on supply, because transports get stopped, people cannot reach till there. So that is also more they are also impacting more on the supply. No changes in transport cost. It is assumed that there is no change in the condition of transport facilities and transport cost. For example, better transport facility increases supply at a same price. Price of other goods remain constant. Price of other goods assumes to remain constant. If they changes, the law of supply may not hold true, because producer may transfer resources to other production. Now, seventh is no future expectation. The law is also assumes that the seller do not expect future law to supply the explained with the help of the lawing schedule and diagram. Now here the diagram is given again. Table 4.3 explain direct relationship between price and quantity. Commodity supplies when the price rises from 10 rupees to 20, 30, 40, 50, and supplies is also rises like we have seen in the last graph. The SS thing is going up. The same graph is given here also. It means when the price rises, supplies also rises. When price falls, supplies is also falls. Thus, there is direct relationship between price and quantity supplied, which is shown in the following figure 4.4. Now, here expectation of the law of supply is given. Now, supply of labor. Labor supply is a total number of hours that workers to work at a given rate. Is represented graphically by the supply curve. In the case of labor, as the way red rises, the supply of a labor hours of rock wood increases. So supply curve slopes upward. Supply of labor hours of work fall with the further rises in rate, and supplies curve of labor bends backward. This is because the worker would prefer leisures to work after receiving higher amount of wakes. Thus, after a certain point wakes, the rate rises, the supply of labor tends to fall. It can be explained with the help of backward bending supply curve. Table number 4.4 flag number 4.5 explain the backward bending supply of curve of labor. Here it says if the price is going up, the working hours is going up, then the labor's work is also depending on the price level of the production, because they have to be paid on that. Okay, so here it's given on figure number 4.5. Supply of the labor hours is work is shown on tab X. Okay, means each and every labor of his according to his working hours he is getting his rupees. Now here says when the wake curve rates 100 per hour, the hours of work is 500 wakes rate 1000 rupees, 100 rupees to 200 hours will also rise from 5 hours to 7 hours total amount of wakes. Here they are saying if we are paying 1 hour 100 rupees, okay, and after that we have decided to pay 1 hour 200 rupees, the worker will work more in a good paying amount. If somebody gives you to work for 1 hour, he'll give 500. Then if you work hardly and nicely, then they decided to increase the money, they will give 1000 rupees for 1 hour. So if they are providing a good salary to you, you will work more. Like that only in this chart given. Now second number is agriculture goods. Now what is agricultural goods? The law of supply does not apply to agricultural goods as they are produced in the specific season and their production depends on the weather condition. Due to unfavorable changes in the weather, if the agriculture production is low, their supply cannot be increased even a higher price. As I discussed as I have given the example of onion, the production is not happening. Because of that, the farmer is unable to send his production to one place to another place. Because of that, the price is going higher. and supply is not increasing. Urgent need for cash. If the seller is in the urgent need of for hand cash, he may sell his product at which may even below the market prices. Now here the urgent need of cash says, if the seller is in the urgent need of hard cash, he may sell his product at which may even be a below market price. Means if the seller is need money, so he can be sell his money his production in the lower price also, because why he is giving the money only because of his selling his production. Now fourth is giving priceable good. In case of priceable goods, the supplier would offer the sell more quantities at a lower price to avoid. The fifth point says that rare goods. The supply of the rare goods cannot increase and decrease according to demand. Even if the price rises, supply remains uncharged. For example, rail paintings are old coins and antique goods. Now here the examples are given of for paintings like which is few customers are only buying, and those old coins which is demanding by the in the exhibition or in a some kind of shows, that kind of demand and the rate of the production can be high. And the antique goods means the antique painting, we can say, the antique materials, we can say, which is departing in the history. So that is the important thing that can be having a more price less than the simple good which we are selling in the market price. They cannot be sold in the small particular area, but it can be in a high by the government also. It can be supplied because it is having the government's assumptions on that the particular good. So rare goods are also having a different demand, different price of the materials. Now here the next point is given about a variations of supply. Now what are the variations of supply? We can say when the quantity supplied of the commodity varies due to the changes in its price. Other factor remaining constant, it is known to be a variation in supplies. There are no types of variation in the supply. The first point is given the expansion of the supply. Now what are the expansion of supply? We can say that is expansion of supply refers to a rise in the quantity supplied due to the rise of the price of commodity. Now here again the chart is saying the x and y rays are giving in the graphs. So it says that is a rise of price of commodity, that we have seen in the last chart that the production is going up, like that way the price is also going up. Expectation as supplies lead to upward, means the price going up and the production is going also up, leads to an upward movement on the same supply curve due to a rise in price. It has shown in the 4.6. The supplies chart is given, the one of the graph is given. It is also having a two rays, y and x. So it is showing a chart and price and the market production level. Supplies is also going up, the production, the more company is selling, the price is also going in a up level. So here the chart is explaining the same thing. It says all those chart we have discussed, that all chart are saying the same thing. The price and the supplies is going on a upward side, we can say. Now second is given construction of supply. Now what is the construction of supply? We can say constructions of supply refers to a fall in a quantity supplied, okay, due to a fall in a price of commodity offers a factor of supply. There is a downward movement of the same supply curve. Okay, the arrow is going supply curve to a down movement. Here in the construction supply, we can say the supply is going in a low level, so price is also falling down of the product. The supply curve, it is shown in the 4.7 figure. So we have seen the rays are going, the arrows are given. That is a before, that is the production was a high level. It is the company is selling his material and production is rating the price on a upward movement. But now the production is going on a downward. Now downward it is going, the price level is also going, the price level is also lowering down of the production. So that is the difference we have seen here in this figure. Quantity supplies is shown on x-axis and price on the y-axis. Quantity supplies from QQ to QZ, which fall in price of from OP to O2. So here the again the Y ray is showing a price and the X rays is showing. Here SS means is given supply curve and NM is given construction of supply. The supply is lowering down, that means the price is also lowering down. It is known as a construction of supply. Now the next point is given changes in supply. Now what are the changes in supply? We can say that the when the offer factor changes in the supply remains consistent is known as changes in supplies. There's two type of changes in supply. Now the meaning and definition is given here. When of other factors changes in the price remains. Other factors we can say, we have given the example in the agriculture climate, the climate factor, the machinery changes in the companies. So that is the other factor. It is also it may also impact on changes in supply. So first point is given increase in supply. Now what is the increase in supply? We can say here the increase in supply refers to rise in the supply of a given commodity due to favorable charges and other factors such as fall in a price of output. Now here they says the supply rises of supply the commodity due to favorable changes. The few favorable changes like we have seen the example of earthquake, we have seen example of flood. So that is all examples were given. Fall in tax, the fall in a of tax of government, by the government is putting the tax of all the products. And the technological upgradation means we have seen the companies are changes the machinery, the workers. Okay, so those things are also impacting on the product price. While the price remains constant, the supply curve shifts to the right to the left original supply curve. It's shown in the figure number 4.9. It means here the supplies impacts the agriculture supplies depends on a climate. The other kind of supplies like machinery changes, and then the climate changes, there are also impacting or other kind of supplies like vegetable, like the examples of vegetables we can take. So this kind of things are impacting our supply, and this curve is also moving on a upward side. Okay, in the figure 4.8 quantity supplied is shown on the x-axis, price on the y-axis. Supply rises from QQ OQ to OQ, that is same price. OP means sometime the price remains same. Why? Because of the there are no changes in the production, the type of production means the machinery is not changing anything. The companies are producing their materials in the same way which is they are producing, but in a some time after some below ahead means they are making some changes, means the price level is also changes. If company changes their commands and their machineries anything, the price level is also going up and down. It is known as an increase in supply, increase or decrease. The second point is decrease in supply. The same way increase in supply and how the product and the other impaction of the, means how, because of what reason the price of the product is going low. So that is the example is given in the second point. So decrease in supply refers to a fall in a supply of the given commodity due to unfavorable changes in the other factors, such as increase in prices and input, increase in tax rate, outdated technology, strikes by worker. Okay, so how here the examples are given of why the price is decreasing of the product. The example is of government tax and the outdated technology, means few companies are using their old technology only, they are not impacting new technology. But strikes by workers, sometimes the company is unable to pay the workers salary, that means the workers are doing strikes. So while the price remains constant, means the price is also remains same for many years, so that was also decrease in surprise, means the workers will not work, the machinery has been not changed, then the production will be less. The supply curve shift to left to original supply curve, it has shown in a 4.9. This is the decrease in supply examples were given. Now in figure 4.9, quantity supplied is shown on x-axis, a price on a y-axis. Supply falls from OQ to OQ2 at the same price OP, resulting in a inward shift to original supply curves to a left from SS to S2 and S2. It is known as decrease in supply. Now here is also giving if the few kind of things will happen, then the price level will fall down and the supply market supplies will also low down. And now here it's given, you should know. Now few points that is you have to note down. That is the first point is says supply. Supply is a microeconomic concept. Supply refers to a quantity of a commodity and seller willing to be able to offer the sell at a particular price during the certain period time. As we discussed before only, that supply needs demand. If there is no demand, there will be no supply. So here second point is given, aggregate supply. It is a microeconomics concept. It's referred to a minimum amount of sales production which expect the received from the sale of output at a given level of employment. This point should be clear, that the price level is depending on the production and the supply, the production and the supply thing, means how much and how what time the company supplying the material. Now here cost of concept is given. When the entrepreneur work takes an act for production, he has to use various inputs, raw materials, labor, capital, etc. He has to incur to these inputs known as the cost of production. Means a small kind of workers, means a small, we can take an example of the a small shopkeeper, means the cost of production increase with an increase of need of output. Means if the seller will having a demand of this product, then only the price level, the cost level will go upward. There are three types of cost with the areas of follows, that the total cost, and total cost says that the total cost expenditure incurred by the firm, the factors production required, the production of the goods and service. Now here the total cost is a sum of total fixed cost and the total variable cost at the various level of output. Now here the second point is given, average cost and the marginal cost. This is the table which they are affecting on the price level, average cost and the quantity of the production and the production of the more unit output, that is whole unit is including the total variable cost. There are the few variables things which they are including in the this table. Now here its a question is given: if a firm produces 6 units for a cost commodity in a day, then incurs in the total cost of 30,000, calculate in an average cost. Now here the second is give the revenue concept. The term revenue refers to the recipients of obtained by the firm from a sale of certain quantities. The commodity of given price at the total market. The concept revenue relates to the total revenue and average revenue, marginal revenue. Here the price level and the given the price of the market is depending on the product price. Now here the chapter is getting over. Now few question and answers are given here. The first is MCQs. The MCQs related to the question and answer related to the textbooks is given here. It's already been solved, so you have to note it and can go ahead. The first question, choose the correct option, and the total 5 answers is over here. And the second question says that complete the correction correlation. Give economic terms, distinguish between us stock and supply. There's a definition, explanation of supply and increase in supply, contraction of supply and decrease in supply. There are two points. Fourth one is average revenue and average cost. Fifth is observe the following table and answer the question. Explain the concept of total cost and total revenue. Explain the determinants of supply. Seventh one is answers in detail. State and explain the law of supply with expectation.